Hello Speed Freak gamers, and welcome to an exclusive club. And you all know the first rule of DriveClub: don't mention online or PS Plus edition. Yes, as you may know, we are about 2 weeks into launch now, and this game has suffered, let's say, a few teething issues, and it would not be appropriate if this did not then cause some to kick off in disgust and demand refunds or heads to roll for this disaster. Even to the point where the delayed PS Plus version has reduced all value of the membership for some, and a refund is now demanded. Now, I understand the moaning from customers like me who purchased the full game, but the PS Plus version is still coming, and it is a bonus to your membership, and you just have to wait a little bit longer, and when it arrives, I'm sure that they will all enjoy it. That said, the game is still perfectly playable and fun. The only issue from this server issue is that the multiplayer is very hit and miss, and leaderboards and online challenges can be sporadic, but I will cover more on that later. Evolution Studios have worked hard to create and almost try to reinvent the arcade style racer. With this originally planned launch game, just as last gen with MotorStorm, a great and fun cross-country racer that allowed a myriad of vehicles and combat, all wrapped up in a huge festival of speed, long before Playground Games used this method for Forza Horizon 5. MotorStorm and the superb sequel which bettered pretty much everything of the original Pacific Rift, which is a superb hectic combative racer. Here they have changed tact completely, and moved more into the great Project Gotham racing style of stylish and skill-based kudos systems. But here points certainly mean prizes, and this is not the only place that the Gotham racer's influence is felt. The menu music has the same feel of boy racer beats and some great ambience dance tracks. Must be a nod to a racer that Evo also loved, as it was also one of my favourites. Like its muse, DriveClub critiques and rewards your driving prowess during all races and tracks, from clean sections to high-speed runs, cool drifts and much more. Also deducting you points for off-track excursions and bad race etiquette, the skill being to keep those points banked until you can cash them in at the end of each race. On some tracks it can be harder to keep in line than others, and there are many. Spanning across 5 separate locales, you are able to take in the sights across Canada, Chile, India, Scotland and Norway. And what sights they are to behold. These are broken down into around 11 tracks per slot that can vary from short single sections of 1 or 3 laps to long rally type events spanning long scenic views of the countryside, and these can be breathtaking and distract you from the task in hand. With a total of 55 tracks and 50 cars, you have a varied selection of places to see and seats to view from, and the attention to detail on the cockpits are supreme. Each car gets a quick cut edit as you choose for each race, but inside, during races, you can admire the brushed leather interior or the carbon fibre dash, each car looking and feeling sufficiently different from each other. From the boy racer Clio to the lush design of the Ferrari, you can tell at a glance what you are travelling in. The detail also gives you a full working and accurate dash, with some cars having a rear view camera, so no mirror to clutter your view. On-screen display, speedo is dropped from interior as you can use the clocks, which also even top up on the mileometer. You can even see your feet on the accelerators and brakes as you drive. The attention to detail is highly commendable and welcome. You can even see your fingertips changing gear on the paddles as you drive, with each track having a varied selection of corners and challenges which is added to by the in-game AI. And this game is all about driving. From when you boot up the game, within 60 seconds you will be gone, on track. No menu or long credits, just straight into driving to earn your wings. As the game starts, they do not pose much of a threat, and within the first 2 races you have already earned a handful of achievements to make you feel good about yourself. Trophy hunters will enjoy this game. You work your way through the tour and complete each challenge to earn more stars, which in turn increase your personal driving level and unlock more cars, paint and further tracks and challenges within the tour. As these are locked off in group sections, it allows you to pick and choose how you attack, and this then stops the grinding feeling setting in. If you do find one section harder or not enjoyable, then you can jump into others and earn points there, and return when you've unlocked a better car or more skill. And skill is needed, as the game is well suited to latch onto your competitive spirit. Within races you have to win or beat the time, and this is harder the further you progress, with the AI starting off lowly, being quite timid and slow and mistake prone. But by the time you have reached the Amateur Cup, each point or podium is well earned, with less and less mistakes made, and at times they can be aggressive, box you in, barging past, causing a crash, which only adds to the challenge to get back into the race and take the fight back. Whilst you're not block passing and nipping up the inside, the game also adds in one of its biggest innovations, with mid-race face-offs cropping up to add to your woes. Average speed, drifting points or precise corner challenges all taunt you with a carrot of even more stars to unlock more content and earn even more from the race, but at the risk of losing places in the race or losing face to the challenge. If it is a multi-lap race, you can see the taunt at your cack-handed skills, but the next lap you get another chance to smack down your dominance to some other random unknown internet racer. A victory is still sweet, no matter where and how it comes. Along with the individual race, bonus point prizes, you also seem to be able to have options to win within a race, even if the top step eludes you. This is carried further into the game with the ability to hit time trials or drifting challenges, and if you're happy with your skills, then you can hit the options button and fire it out into the community to see if anyone can step up to the challenge. But this is where the biggest issue I have with the game arises. It is a social racer designed around creating a club or joining one, and then all members race both online and off, sporting your club's colours and badge with pride, earning points for yourself and for your club, moving you all through the ranks to become legends of racing. But right now this is a very fragile affair. Multiplayer is basically still a first come first served basis. You will now regularly sit around in lobbies wasting time to see this message far more frequently than any sign of on-track action. With leaderboards not loading and in-game data syncing just mostly failing, or the communicating with server message you will soon come to ignore and loathe. And it is such a shame, as when it connects or seamlessly offers up a challenge mid-race, it genuinely feels great and connected, seeing the avatar on screen mocking you to be better than them, with the satisfaction as you tick off another score, only to be challenged again and again. With the clubs and possibility to race with your fellow members online in a 12-car battle, it is a great opportunity that as of right now is a failed one. This is a huge issue for Evolution and Sony, and one that they are working hard on to solve and improve as quickly as possible, with regular updates on Twitter and Facebook to keep people informed. But the closed beta they had and the social integration that the team had from the very first reveal of the PS4 should have better prepared them for what was to come. This, along with the other areas of lack of content, the tracks and more so the cars are great, but much less than its current rival of Forza Horizon 2 shipped with, and this is not the only place it loses ground to Playground's next-gen racer. The de rigueur of any racer is a good replay system, allowing you to view your heroic victory and impress your friends with your tarmac skills. But these are absent at launch to come with a later patch, along with dynamic weather, which is also due later, but these all shipped with Forza Horizon 2 and they work well, with some great replays possible, and adding to the atmosphere is the rain coming in and adding not only a great visual treat as you race, with raindrops on bonnets and wipers clearing your view, but affecting your grip and handling to further test your skills. Again, none of this is present as we speak in DriveClub, and from the year delay it all comes across as a team that maybe over-egged what they could achieve, or had some big changes of heart last year and had to go back to the drawing board in many places. It seems bad to say this, and I also think Evo are a great team, and this game is a superb achievement less than a year from the PS4 at launch, but it does have the feeling of a not quite finished product yet, and this is just a little rough around the edges and missing some of its core aspects of its DNA to make it great. All this does not stop it being a superbly enjoyable, challenging and captivating racer that will fulfill any petrolhead's hunger for flag-to-flag battles. Each car handles sufficiently differently and takes time to learn and perfect, with the rear-wheel drive BMW being great for drifting but a hard beast to control in the heat of battle. Firing out of corners you can easily spin yourself into the scenery, with the other cars being more controlled but less powerful, needing more skill to keep your lines accurate and your momentum going. And staying in the straight and narrow is key in this game. It punishes you with a speed limiting penalty if you cut corners too much or collide heavily into other cars as a form of mobile brakes. You can get off track enough to gain small advantages of where you must judge a corner, but they keep you true with a timer that ticks down before replacing you. And the on-screen notification and sounds all work well to keep you informed, but the game allows you to tailor it, and one of the great options that I love is to turn off all on-screen displays and leave it free and clutterless. The sounds of the timer are clearer to know when you've pushed your luck enough, and the controller feedback is superb, with it rumbling on both sides or one based on the surface you drive over or your tyres as they spin. It all just adds to the immersion. With the wheel support right now to T80 and T300 Thrustmasters, true race enthusiasts can get the full feel if they find the DS4 pad insufficient. With a selection of views to choose from, the cockpit is superb, allowing you to take in its sights as you race around and admire the stunning visuals this game boasts, and is certainly an area that is not feeling underdone. From the atmospheric flyovers you get before a race to the light refraction on the headlights of the cars, the game oozes next-gen CGI like no other. Textures are very detailed and broad across road surfaces, cars, buildings, bridges, rocks. You name it, it looks very vivid and striking. Again, sporting a physically based render, this spans across a deferred render to allow such a mesmerising lighting system to a forward render also for transparencies. It really is a powerhouse, with lighting hitting and reacting accurately across car paint, dashboards and windscreens, with even cracks catching light bounce and shimmering as the sun or headlights glance across. Sporting a dynamic lighting engine with global illumination, it handles light and ambient day-night cycles so accurately that you can be blinded by the sun glare only to slide around a corner and see the road clearly as the sun moves behind. It is this stunningly accurate display of sunlight oversaturating the image so that rocks, cars all lose detail and colour as the light diffuses realistically. You can see it on the skin of your hands as you drive. See how the skin pigment darkens as the light shines from certain angles. This is incredibly detailed and entirely accurate and covers everything in the world. It goes even further and truly shows, hopefully, what big changes we can expect this gen, with a fully simulated weather and cloud system being used from a middleware solution in the game. This not only looks gorgeous as you career down mountain passes or through valleys to see the looming cloud overhead, but also only covers the sun, casting shadows around the scenery or track, peering through as you drive, causing light glare flashes or increasing the reflection of your dash in the windscreen as it passes by, suppressing shadows as the sun is muted, only to burst through again, basking you in glorious sunshine. Be it sunny or cloudy or even full-on storm-filled skies, the ambient light dulls, shines or blinds so accurately that on some tracks in certain conditions it really borders on photorealistic. Sporting what looks to be a TMAA anti-aliasing solution along with the temporal FXAA to soften sub-pixel crawl, they also seem to have merged more anti-aliasing work within the composite textures to give a lot of the detail such a clean view that is almost higher than a native 1080 in its looks. But it is 1080. You still get some edges on cars and power lines, but it is a very clean game that competes well with Forza Horizon 2, but doesn't better. But in everywhere else, this game is leaps on. Proof if needed that people get hung up on the numbers are missing the point. Both these games run a native 1080 display and at 30 frames per second, but as I have said before, the numbers don't tell the whole story. Forza Horizon 2 is a stunner, don't get me wrong, but its aim, engine and style are not the same as DriveClub's. Being a hyper-realised game like Transformers movie, strong colours, bright saturated sunlight, emphasised motion blur, and basically pretty people driving pretty cars, in Forza Horizon 2 clouds are just a skybox sitting in the sky, having either Southern Europe summer sun or gloomy rain with lighting being pretty static outside of the time of day and depth of shadow. DriveClub, a race can start stormy with dulled and gloomy light with subdued shadows, only for the cloud to pass overhead and light to burst through, basking all in glorious light and strong shadows. The wind affects the race, you can see the flags and the trees bellowing and then calming down as the wind passes by. Being able to set the time of day and speed of time, you can literally race through the night, enjoying the setting sun, dipping into the horizon as the sky dims and the shadows fade. Lights turn on and roadsides are basking street lights and the howl of engines as headlights illuminate the scenery. Not only does each of your headlights cast two distinct beams that create overlapping shadows on roadside scenery and cars, bouncing backlight that reflects and spreads across the paintwork relevant to the colour. Car silhouettes bounce off bushes and trees, rocks, along walls and in tunnels, along with the headlights, brake lights reflected on the paint of the tunnel. Lights strobe across your dash realistically as they pass overhead. Brake lights shine and bloom into your dash, lighting up your skin and dashboard realistically. When cars are behind you, their headlights shine through your back window, highlighting your dash, and if you have a screen, blinding it out with the contrast so you can't even see it. The lights cast from your headlights even self-shadow on the vehicles and chassis and the interior as you drive past. The dynamic lighting and shadows all make the game feel so much more alive and real compared to this night race tunnel for Forza Horizon 2. You can see no dynamic shadows at all, no reflected lights or cascaded light reflection. It all just makes it feel far more flat and lifeless in comparison to DriveClub's. And it is here that I stress again that numbers are not the most important thing. Forza Horizon 2 is a lovely looking and immense fun arcade style racer with great colour and gorgeous scenery and cars, but you can clearly see where these two games differ from their art styles to the very aim they have. DriveClub is the most visually impressive racer I have ever played, irrespective of platform, but it still has some small signs of LOD as you drive, with the contact hardening shadows having a short draw distance and even some small glitches present that can make them disappear and reappear in some places as you drive. But the LOD drawing is not as severe as Forza Horizon 2, with short range ambient occlusion shadows and tree LOD being pretty noticeable even as you race, but again these are minor niggles on both accounts. In the end, DriveClub is a stunning piece of work and hopefully the start of a game that Evo can add, update and fulfill their dream of a truly immense, socially connected racer for the new generation. They plan to listen to the community to improve and add to the game, and with the coming weather and replay patches being very welcome, I would love to see a PSI linked head tracking for in-car view. Imagine when VR finally lands with Project Morpheus being able to look around your car as you drive. It really would be one hell of a ride. I would like to see the tight constraints on track excursions to be lessened, or an option so that going off tracks or even reversing being something that you can enforce or lessen for online races. Adding more options for other vehicles rather than performance, maybe some truly off-road rally races, or even harking back to MotorStorm with some epic races through the eye of a storm, really showing off the visual punch this game delivers. It stands as a game I can only recommend at this point if, like me, you still enjoy the single player challenge and skills, as the multiplayer section is as near as not present at this point, and the PS Plus version still to be given a date. I would say that anyone who falls outside of this realm should wait and try this, and then you will, like all of us, soon be able to enjoy the full package as intended and then help shape and grow the game into the true challenger it really can be. Until then, it stands as one of the most impressive but incomplete games so far this generation, that borders on photorealistic and has a superb and satisfying control system, and the races can be so close and exciting with not only the precise motion blur and locked frame rate giving an immense feeling of speed, added to by the buffering of wind shaking the screen, and in close multi-car battles as you are in the middle of the skirmish vying for the lead. It truly captures the essence of a close quarter racing like so many other games fail to do. The real question is, are you tough enough to be in that club? As always, I hope you enjoyed this review and analysis. If you did, or any of my other content, then please hit that sub button, as I appreciate each and every one of you that does. Like if you did, and leave your thoughts and feedback below, and check out all of my other stuff if you have the time. You guys and girls take care, drive safe and fast, and I will see you soon on the next one.